Now, in one sense, as I said, it can be a little jarring, but in another sense, it reveals a rich history of people, powerful people, wealthy people, people that commanded armies of tremendous strength that set themselves against the word of God. And what remains? The Bible. I think it was Charles Spurgeon that once said it best. He said, the word of God is an anvil that has worn out every hammer that strikes against it. The Bible remains, while these other figures of history and these emperors and these philosophies have all come to naught. As I was thinking about this, preparing this talk tonight, I thought to myself, one of the best examples of that has to be the example of Paul the Apostle. Paul's been on his missionary journeys. You've read this in the book of Acts, and he's had tremendous success in certain places, and churches have sprung up, and he's also been tremendously persecuted, shipwrecked, starved, whipped, beaten. At one point, he was stoned so bad that his executioners just presumed that he was dead, and so they walked away, and Paul just he rouses, comes to. It's almost like a silly old Western movie, and Paul gets up, and what does he do? He walks straight back into the town where they just stoned him to proclaim Christ. And after all of these long journeys of great turmoil and triumph, Paul arrives at Athens. Now, when we say Athens, you have to get a sense of the enormity of this. Athens is the city of the philosophical titans of the world. At the top of Athens is a hill called Mars Hill, where all of the professional, colossal intellects, Luke says, spend all their time doing nothing but debating, engaging, dialoguing, and discovering human philosophical thought. And Paul goes to Athens because initially he's really just sent there to rest. But what we read in Acts 17 is that when Paul arrives in the city of Athens, all of the idols in the city, what do? They provoke him. It says his soul was agitated. It's hard to rest in a world that's so built to be anti-God. And so Paul goes out in the marketplace and just starts preaching.